Okay, so in this question, they want you to determine the equation of the parabola. We've learned how to write an equation in factored form. What is an equation written in factored form? Y equals A bracket X. Okay, so I want everyone to copy that down. You should have this memorized by now. That's the equation written in factored form. So just by looking at this graph, can you determine any of the unknown variables? Because when you have to write this equation, you have to replace A, you have to replace R, and you have to replace S, right? To come up with the equation. Can we replace any of those variables right now just by looking at the graph? Can we figure out any of these variables? Which ones? R and S, right? Okay, so what is R?
-4.
So it's intercepting at -4, yes. And what's the other, what's S? Intercepting at +2. When we plug it in, what happens to the signs? Okay, so we have X minus, what's R? So it's X minus -4 and X minus +2. So when we replace it, X minus -4 becomes X plus 4 and X minus 2. So the signs are opposite. So it intercepts at +2, so it's X minus 2, and it intercepts at -4, so it's X plus 4. To come up with an equation, we have to replace which other variable?
Y.
Okay, we need to know what the A value is. Now, just by looking at the graph, I haven't taught you how to find A by looking at the graph. But to find A, okay, what do X and Y represent in an equation? X and Y represent a coordinate. So you can pick any point on this graph that is easy to read. You don't want to use decimals. Use an exact coordinate. So look at your graph right now and tell me any coordinate that you can read on the graph. It looks like, yes, the only coordinate that's easy to read here that wouldn't be a decimal would be 0, 4. You're correct. There's also a point here that's easy to read, which is at -2, 4. Okay. Use this coordinate. Okay, 0, 4 is a point on the graph, and that's my X and that's my Y. So I'm going to replace both X's with 0, and I'm going to replace Y with the number 4. So I want you guys to do that right now. So we're replacing Y with 4. So 4 equals A, bracket. What's X? What's my X value? 0 plus 4, bracket. What's X? We use the same value. 0 minus 2. So on the left side, we have 4 equals A. Shh. Okay, then we're simplifying. What's 0 plus 4? Good. What's 0 take away 2? Okay, so what we have here is A times 4 times -2. How would I write that? What's 4 times -2? So I'm going to write -8A. When we multiply a number and a variable, we usually write the number and then the variable. And what do I have on the left side?
4.
Good. How do we isolate A? Divide both sides by?
4.
No, what's the variable? What's the coefficient of A? I need to isolate my A, so I need to divide by -8 on both sides. So we're left with A equals, what's +4 divided by -8, simplified?
1 over 2.
-0.5, if we write it as a decimal. If A is negative, what does that tell you about the parabola? Let's just review this.
Opening down.
Does this parabola open down?
Yes.
If it's a number between 0 and 1, so the negative tells us the direction of opening. Is the parabola stretched or compressed? Compressed, which means it's wider than the parent function. Remember this? The question said, write an equation of the parabola. So to write the equation, we needed to know R, S, and A. So now that we've figured out R, S, and A, I want you to write the equation in factored form. So everyone do that right now. Okay, so yes, the y-intercept was located at 0, 4. So our equation matches. Why do we have to do it in factored form first before we put it in standard form? Okay, because we are able to see what the x-intercepts were, so we can plug it into factored form, R and S, and then we can find A. The equation, all you're doing is replacing A, R, and S. It has to say y equals, what's A? Negative 0.5. Then it becomes x, what?
Plus 4.
X plus 4, bracket, x minus 2. No. Okay, so here's our equation written in factored form. But the question actually said, express your answer in standard form. To express this in standard form, what do we have to do with this equation? FOIL. Meaning expand and simplify. Okay, now I don't think I gave you any questions on Friday where you had a coefficient, where you had an A value that wasn't 1. So you have to do this part first. Okay, so everyone pay attention. We are going to FOIL, we're going to expand our brackets here, x plus 4 times x minus 2. We're going to do that part first, okay? So we have y equals, we're going to leave this negative 0.5, and I'm going to multiply. What are the first terms? X times x is what? X squared. Then I'm going to multiply x times negative 2. What's x times negative 2? Negative 2x. Multiplying the inside, so 4 times x is what? Positive or negative? And then the last term, so positive 4 times negative 2 equals, okay, so that's the first step. We're still leaving this, we're leaving the A value right now. We're expanding and simplifying the two brackets. Can I simplify this? What can I combine? Which terms are like terms? Negative 2x and 4x. What's negative 2x plus 4x? Positive 2x. And then we have minus 8. Okay, are we good so far? But I have a value of A that wasn't equal to 1. My A value is negative 0.5. So now I need to distribute. This is back to grade 9, distributive property. The A value, I need to multiply it by every term inside the bracket. Okay, so I want you guys to do that now. So negative 0.5 times x squared. Good, negative 0.5 x squared. And then what is negative 0.5 times positive 2x? Negative 1x. And then I have negative 0.5 times negative 8. Negative times the negative is positive 4. So this is now in standard form. How do I know this is in standard form? What is standard form? Y equals plus bx plus c. Do you remember what c represents? Y-intercept. So where was the y-intercept? Where should it be? 0, 4.